Today's video then is slip roads, but slip roads in an urban situation, which in the situation we're going to be going in will be a 50-mile-an-hour road. The principles here can be used on the motorway as well. Of course, a motorway is going to be faster speed. I had one of my ex-pupils ring me recently. She left Birmingham before passing a test, has begun having lessons again, and he's very troubled about dealing with slip roads. So I thought it'd be a good idea to clarify the procedure for that. The section of road we're going to be travelling on is a section that often occurs on Gallett's Green test routes. I'm not sure whether it still does, but at one time there were at least 3 of the test routes that had this section of road on. It's called the Collector Road. It's a 50-mile-an-hour dual carriageway. The exits are only on the left, but what you're looking at is the procedure for joining and separately the procedure for leaving, and also the procedure for passing exit points. So we've got a junction on the left coming up, which we're going to turn into to get onto Collector Road, and I'll talk through what I'm doing as I emerge here. So I'm in second gear at the moment. I know it's a 50 limit once I get round this bend, and I'm now already on the slip road. Now I'm keeping my speed at second until I begin to come off the bend. Now accelerating, picking my speed up in the slip road. Third gear, giving more power. I've got the van following, so right signal, and moving out in as straight a line as possible, bringing my speed up as soon as possible to 50. I did signal for the van coming down behind me. It's closing quite rapidly. I'm almost up to 50 now, and the van's still closing. And taking 5th gear. The van's still closing. I'm now doing a steady 50 and the van's still closing. They'll be able to pass me in a moment. So coming on to the slip road, this particular slip road is a fairly tight turn to get on, so coming around the bend at first is second, but then as we come off the bend we accelerate, taking third, and rather than fourth, because third will give us better acceleration on the slip road. What we want to do, if we can, is try and get the speed up to around 50 on the slip road itself, if there's any following traffic. Now I've got a side ahead telling me there's an exit, so here I'm coming off, and just checking the mirrors, of course, and making a left signal. I'm not braking until I get onto the slip road. That's the whole point of it, really, so I don't slow down following traffic on the slip road. So now we bring in the brakes. No traffic coming across my path, taking second. Just double checking to the right, it's all clear, and I'm going to go left at the end of here, being sure that it's clear both sides before emerging, because of parked cars on the right. So the joining procedure then, because it's a fairly tight bend into the slip road, on this particular bend we use a second gear until we're emerging from the bend, and then pick up speed, take third. A good rule that I was taught by an ex-police driver was in like a lamb, out like a lion. The method for approaching bends is in like a lamb, out like a lion. You accelerate out of the bend, but do all your braking before the bend and go on a steady speed into the bend. So we're going to come back in a few moments to the entry point again, and once more I'll talk through the procedure for joining via the slip road onto a 50 limit, and I will of course make clear what's coming down behind me as I move out. So I've taken the next turning on the left again, which takes me back onto the Collector Road. This turning here will bring me into the slip road. So I'm entering the turn in second. I'm going to keep it at second until I start to exit the bend. So as I'm coming out of the bend now, I'm gathering speed, just keeping in the slip road, taking third to get some acceleration. Mirrors, Traffic's way back, so I can move out of here without a signal. And now I can take 5. 50 limit. Following traffic is well back. In a few moments I'm going to come off again. There'll be a sign on the left telling me where the exit is. And naturally I'll use the mirror then before deciding whether I need to signal following traffic. Although it's actually a left turn, so I will use a left signal to leave. Traffic behind at the moment is well back on a long follow. Road bending around towards the left, just around 50 miles an hour. I've got a sign here telling me the exit's approaching, so checking my mirrors, signalling because I'm turning left, just backing off the gas, but I'm not going to apply the brakes until I get into the slip road. That's what it's for. The idea is we don't slow following traffic. That's what the slip road's for, both to come on and to come off. No traffic on the right. I'll take a second. And I'm going to come left again, just here. The principles that we're practicing here, joining this slip road, are really exactly the same as they are for joining a motorway. I would imagine that someone learning to drive on a motorway, indeed when I first began to drive, the most nerve-wracking part was coming on via the slip road. And the things to keep in mind are, when you're on the slip road, try and match the speed to the traffic that's already on the dual carriageway or the motorway. That makes it much easier to slip into a space if your speed is matched. And the traffic on the motorway, or in this case on the dual carriageway, does have priority. So if they're gaining, we might need to slow down. I'm going to take the left then now to come back onto the dual carriageway. Taking the turn in second and just holding it in second, in like a lamb and out like a lion. So just holding it at the moment at second on the turn. And as we exit the turn, picking up the gas, third for good acceleration, checking the mirrors, it's completely clear behind, and taking a straight line out, never jerk the wheel at speed, and into forward, and 5. Traffic ahead doing around 50 and I'm up to 50 now. Car behind on a long follow, not a threat at all. Now, there are some good ideas that you can apply when you're passing a slip road. So we're going to pass the next exit and go on to the one after. Now, there is a danger, of course, when you're passing a slip road that there might be traffic coming on from the left, from the slip road you plan to pass. So it's always a good idea when you see the slip road and the traffic joining from your left to check the mirrors to see if it's possible to move to the right lane if it's necessary. Now, the car behind me is way back. There is a man moving out on the slip road ahead, but he's well clear. So just keeping an eye on the slip road here. There's no one approaching from the left, so I can stay where I am. Now, had there been anybody emerging there, I could have checked the rear and right mirrors to see whether it was safe to go out to the right. Another danger though here that you don't get so much on a motorway is that sometimes traffic is turning across from the right, from the barriers on the right. So if you're moving out from traffic for traffic joining from the left hand side, be aware that somebody might be planning to cross from the right. If that's the case, it's best to stay, I think, in the left hand lane. So I'm going to go on now to the next exit, or the next slip road. The traffic's going a little under 50 because I'm gaining on them at the moment. There's a car behind on quite a long follow still. I'm just now dead on 50. Road bending towards the left. Good clear vision today, nice sunny day. You can see well down the road, quite a few cars ahead of me. One barrelling down behind me, Range Rover coming flying down in lane 2 closing up on me quite rapidly, but not a problem. I'm going to be going left in a moment. Here goes our friend in his Land Rover. And just over the hill, just past the camera there, we're going to take the left exit. Now this is a short slip road, so I'm going to signal on approach here, because I can't get all the braking done in this short slip road. I'm just touching the brakes a little bit. The guy behind has moved out now anyway. There's one waiting to cross from the right. He will have priority over me and he's going to move. So I'm going to give way for him. I'm going to take second, but I can then follow him up the hill. There were give way lines across the front of me there, so that car that came from the right would have priority over me. I'm approaching the end of the collector road this time, the very end. I join it, it's a second exit off the roundabout ahead, so I'm going to go, it's a 50 limit again. It begins just off this roundabout. Mindful I have a learner ahead of me, so there might be one or two slips, perhaps, we shall see. Plenty of space, treating with some caution. So I want the second exit onto the collector road, and the learner's left me, so no problems there. And the 50 doesn't actually start until I get to the side, then I can accelerate. So on the dual carriageway now, 5th gear, bringing my speed up to 50. Got good space in the vehicle ahead. Got one following, not pressing me at all. I'm closing slightly on the vehicle ahead, but I've got the plan board for the left exit I want up ahead, so I'm not going to take the silver car. Motorbike hammering down lane 2, probably doing about 65. And I'm taking the next exit on the left, so mirrors, rear mirror, left mirror. And the signal for the car behind. It's quite a long slip road here. So there's no reason why I can't get into the slip road and then brake, so that I'm not holding up the man behind. So moving into the slip now, taking full advantage of it, bringing the speed well up. I've got a van on the right hand side crossing the carriageway, so he will have priority over me unless he's held up by following traffic. Now he's coming out, but it is clear on my right now, and I'm going to go right at the end of here, and then a little way ahead I'm going to go back on using a different slip lane. Lots of learners about at the moment, one coming on from my left, one will be in front of me when I turn right. A little way ahead now on the right, I have an entrance to the collector road again, an entrance to the slip road, so checking the mirrors, watching the man emerging is not a problem. Right signal, not coming down the hill towards me, that's priority. So into the slip road, taking second, keep beginning second on the approach to the apex of the bend, accelerating out of the bend now. Traffic behind is out in lane 2, and I can move out here in a straight line without signalling. Very often what will happen when you're joining a motorway or a dual carriageway like this, if the traffic sees you in good time, they will often move out to lane 2, unless they're particularly ignorant, which you do run into sadly, but generally speaking, most drivers will move out to lane 2 to make it easy for you to get out into lane 1. But always try when you're coming on to take a straight line It's the most stable line as you're coming across from the slip road into lane 1. Now in a moment we're going to pass a slip road exit, and I'll just repeat again the procedure, what we do, what we're looking out for, just in case somebody should be wanting to join us from the slip road on the left as we're approaching. At the moment I've got 3 cars well ahead of me, and I've got a green Scenic, I think it is, fairly well back but closing, and a red one also just moved out to lane 2 and closing. But I'm doing a steady 50, and I've got a sign for other danger in the centre of the carriageway, which probably refers to the traffic coming on and the traffic crossing. Red car lane 2 closing. If anybody joins me from the slip road, I've got to watch this vehicle behind who's still closing. He's moved into lane 1. Now I could move out now if it were necessary. There is no one on the slip lane, but the red car's gone out, so I've got to stay where I am. Red car coming out alongside me stops me from moving out there for the post van. Now always be aware of what's going on behind you. If you can move out, that's good, but sometimes of course, as with this red car, you just can't do it. So that's the procedure for joining, leaving and passing slip roads. Hope that was helpful. Hope you'll come again. Thanks for watching.